Alrighty.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people.
Good evening, wherever you're listening, watching from around the world of the Eastern Caribbean. This is Make We Talk. Welcome to our listeners on Jam Talk Vibes Radio. This evening, I have with me my special guest, Dr. Rupert Francis, head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. Herbert Nelson Jr, Chairman of the Institute of Caribbean Studies in Washington, D.C., and we're also awaiting our good friend WILFRED Rattigan, retired FBI agent, attorney at law, and a talk show host. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good evening.
Good evening, man.
And to you, to Doc and yourself, Jeffrey. And Jeffrey, I'm not chairman of the Institute of Caribbean Studies. I'm chairman of the Crime and Security Committee of the Institute of Caribbean Studies.
Oh, Lord. I
apologize. You don't want to cause me issues.
I keep on making the mistake. I do apologize about that. Welcome to the program, gentlemen. Welcome. This evening, we're going to touch a little bit about the whole thing with the salary increase that is given to the parliamentarians. And also, when Mr. Rattigan comes on, we're going to speak about what happened in the courts today with the suit against Camellia Johnson Smith. Dr. Francis, you're head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Prevention Task Force. What is your views on what is going on in Jamaica in the sense of the parliamentarians hiking their salary? Well,
Well,
go ahead.
I don't know if you saw it, but a statement was put out by the Crime Task Force with the help and support of my good friend Herb Nelson and a few others, but mainly Herb Nelson and Rattigan, that as far as we are concerned, it is beyond unreasonable. It is the most unreasonable act I've seen, and the reason is that I've listened to Herb, I've listened to other speakers, but one of the things is that if you are to be promoted, certainly in a situation like this, you have to prove your worth, the fact that you're worth it. It's not a question of, you haven't had a raise for a long time, so let us raise it anyway. But let us look at many of the portfolios of the government, including the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is literally almost running the country single-handedly, which is not expected. He did a sort of cursory thing to sort of scramble his cabinet, which he only moved around people. He didn't move much people, and two people are not going to be there. Mainly Shaw and Samuda. Now, so therefore, my view is that it's performance that you have to look at. Performance. I don't know what happened here. Performance.
We're hearing you loud and clear,
Yes, I know, but I mean, my picture's gone. But anyway, you're hearing that is all right.
We're seeing your pictures too.
You are?
Yes, we're seeing
it's not here anymore. But it's okay. It's fine. I will continue as soon as I know what is going on. But anyway, and so therefore, I don't know if it is reasonable. It cannot be reasonable. And we have everybody's saying so, not only in Jamaica, but also worldwide. And in fact, there's a petition going on change.org that the law students are suing because they do not believe that this is a fair and just increase. And in addition to which, when you're looking at it, you are rewarding people who have been deficient in their work. It's only a few of those ministers, certainly cabinet ministers, can claim any success. They can claim something, but the prime minister's taking over people's portfolios. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not good. This is not a good look. It's not a good smell. It's not good for the Jamaican people as a whole. And I am saying to you that we need to have it regularized. We need to make them understand that the people come first. And basically, that's my opinion on the whole matter. That it should never have happened. And I believe personally, it's a smoke screen. And maybe my good friend Herb will explain what I mean by the smoke screen thing. It's just a what you'd call a red herring, a giant red herring. I think they have a lot of things in a lot of things that are going on that will be going on. It's a prelude to something else. But certainly, this is just something to draw our attention away from the real McCoy. And I think it has to do with the moving away from the monarchy. I think it has to deal with elections, both local and general elections. Those are my feeling, that they have something else in mind. So they had to develop a giant smoke screen. That's how I see it.
Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, well, to pick up where Doc is leaving off, they do have issues because they see where the Privy Council has ruled against Trinidad for delaying local elections for a year. And they are doing this very same thing that Trinidad just did. So in no time flat, I expect that they're gonna be facing lawsuits. So if that's the case, then and you look at the other areas that they've been having difficulties, they're losing popularity. They're doing things that are pretty much bullying the population at large, and the population at large is just losing interest in anything the government has to do. And now, to create the distraction Doc talks about, they come up with this pay raise. Now, they could have sprang this last year, since they wanted it to be retroactive. Why not bring it up earlier, right? But instead, it's a carefully timed act that distracts, get everybody talking about this, and everybody forgets about everything else, like SSL and some of the other key crime issues and unpopularity that they're experiencing. So it is not by accident. I think it's by design that they came out at this point with the pay raise declarations, because it's just way it's an outlier so far out. It's unprecedented.
Is it Mr. Nelson, we're not hearing you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, like I said, it's an outlier and it's totally unprecedented. This is something that nobody saw coming, and it's out of left field, and it's done by people whose connivance is well known. They've lied to us on just about every front. The FBI being involved with SSL. They lied about not receiving an investigative report from KPMG on SSL. There's so many things that they keep lying about, and there's no way they can cover all the lies without losing popularity. and now there's no local elections, and they're playing a long game to where they'll wait till it seems opportune time to call elections, and go ahead and call elections and hope that they're going to win. Even if they lose with the pay raises that the opposition is getting, they're going to be in a winning position.
But is it?
They're going to be getting a pretty hefty salary. The people of Jamaica are the ones that are the losers here. And the people of Jamaica, I've said over and over again, they've got to come alive, and they've got to do what the people of Jamaica need to do. Protests. They need to be heard in every media, whether it's the Observer, the Gleaner, on radio, on television. They need to be heard. And the Gleaner and the Observer needs to do its job of investigating and disclosing what's going on. Even just today, we see the lady Panton, who is a part of the SSL saga, who is under arrest, is changing her story. And her story is that the head of SSL asked her to take the fall for everybody. That's pretty much what she was saying. So now she wants out. She's going to defend herself. And she no longer stands behind her confession. So they have problems. The government has multiple problems. And SSL, the elections, it's all coming to bump, as they say.
Mr. Nelson.
Yeah.
Is it that I know we're gonna talk about, but it's whole corruption thing we have to speak about, and that SSL is a big corruption in our country.
Yeah.
And what the parliamentarians are doing with the salary increase, that's a part of the bloody corruption that we face.
It is, but it's also a distraction from the other arguments. If they're feeling pressure from the other arguments, then this is a good way to distract. Yeah, if they had this in mind last year, because retroactive to, I guess, 1 April of last year, if they have it from last year in mind, they know exactly what they're doing, right? When they come in and they distract us from everything else that's going on.
Yeah,
and so the things really and truly need to be examined here as to their motivation for springing this pay raise stuff on us while everything else goes unresolved. Because what we've been saying to the people of Jamaica is you need to wake up, open your eyes, and discover what your government is doing to you without your permission. And maybe the people are starting to come alive. Maybe that's what's going on now, because there's a lot of folks talking.
Dr. Francis, you're head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Prevention Task Force.
Yeah.
All what is going on in our beloved island? What members of the diaspora are saying? Why are we having two things with you here?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Anyway, go ahead. What is members of the diaspora saying?
The diaspora, basically, the persons that I've spoken to, and many of the persons in the task force that I've spoken to, are of the opinion that a lot the government has to reckon with. But a lot of people, to be quite honest with you, they want to remain kind of silent or neutral, because many people are afraid, Jeffrey, to be quite honest with you, of repercussions, because you're dealing with some serious people here. Okay, because if they can do what they're doing, then they'll do anything.
And with
artists for you.
Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
With the whole thing with SSL and the Prime Minister pulling out his money. Didn't say anything to NHT, who has investment in it, and other government entities. He pulled his money out, said nothing to the people of this country. Isn't that something that we need to look into? And not only that, the Minister of Finance came out and addressed the nation and tell the people of this country that the FBIs are in Jamaica when the FBI is not in Jamaica at all. No, Dr. Francis, you as head of the Jamaican diaspora, what have you said or what have you done into rallying Jamaicans in the diaspora? So listen to me, man. We need to stand up and speak out against this and even do something more about it.
Jeffrey, I asked you. I don't know where this feedback is coming from.
It's coming from you.
How is that possible?
Go ahead, though, because we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm saying to you, I have gone ahead and I have spoken to a number of persons in the diaspora and in the task force in particular. And, people have said that, some people have said that, they just don't want to get involved because they worry about themselves and their well-being. And we can understand that. Okay? But the majority of persons that I don't know if you've looked at social media. And I have put this is just not doing the right thing at all. I may have to go on my phone, gentlemen. So
no, we're hearing you,
Yeah. And I'm saying
go ahead, we're hearing and we're seeing
I have gone ahead and circulated this information to as many groups that I'm a member of, and I'm a member of over nearly 100 groups. And I've had a lot of forwarding, and I've also joined the change.org, and I'm saying that there are almost 20,000 signatures as we speak, right? And I have pushed it and so on, and I've asked other persons to do the same. And so therefore, you're only going to have a groundswell. People in Jamaica have a problem. They love Jamaica, and they feel that even though people may have wronged them, they have to give them a chance. Okay? What they don't understand is that these persons that are in charge, the more chance you give them, is the more they want and the more they take. Right? So the people of Jamaica, it's not a question, you could talk, they agree with you. But first of all, they're not going to put their signatures out there. They're not going to come into the fore, and they're not going to say anything. All right? But they do want change. You have all the evidence is clear. When Mrs. Holness came to Florida some time ago, right? She was heckled, and that never happened before, right? And so therefore there are people out there. But I'm going to tell you something. I have put the information on some of my personal places that I'm a part of, and when I put it there and go back, it's not there. That means that somebody is scrubbing it. Somebody's taking it out. Okay? And so therefore, you have people who are working on the behalf of the government, on the behest of the government as well. And I'm telling you, it is sad that this is happening because, it is a travesty really that this is happening because there's so many people who really want to get the information. There's so many people who are...
Yes, yes, Dr. Francis. But what I'm saying, Jamaicans in the diaspora have been sending their money to Mary Jane, to Tom Jones, to everybody.
Yes.
Their family and friends back home.
Yes.
So whatever is happening in Jamaica will affect them in the longer run.
But listen to me. You see, Herb is our, what you would call it now. He's our investigator par excellence. And he can tell you, Herb sent a note on one of the forums that we are on. And I'm telling you, if I read that note, I'd be long gone. You understand me? Because he was strident. He wasn't joking. We agreed on it. Right? That there are people who will stand on the sidelines and do absolutely nothing. I just came off my radio show, and I'm talking about people calling in from everywhere. But there's some that are silent because they want to, first of all, we have to make one thing. If you make it too political, they don't want to listen to you. Okay? They don't want to. And we have a history of corruption in Jamaica. Not just this government is the most I've seen the most corruption that has been evidenced. Maybe I don't know if it's because of social media or what have you. But there's a lot of corruption that has been going on. People have gotten rich out of this thing. Okay, and it's clear they can't be doing something legit to be getting rich. There are incidents where drugs are coming into the country, right? Things are coming to people are being hijacked. What have you? And people are even running away in dangerous places to get to the United States of America. Why are they doing this? Well, the problem is that your life is not worth anything in Jamaica. Wrong or right? It's not worth anything. Am I correct, Herb?
You know, there's a lot of non-judicial killings that's going on. There's a lot of reprisal killings that's going on. There's a lot of revenge killings that you kill my brother or you kill whomever in the family and they're taking their revenge. So with these kind of killings abound, Jamaica, I think, is only behind, if I'm not mistaken, El Salvador in the total murder rate in Latin America and the Caribbean. And it's a darn shame. But the bottom line is the leadership in the country are sending mixed signals, because one day they'll say, we have ZOSO or we have SOE, and the Governor General signs off on it. And when it fails, nobody's held accountable. Nobody has been held accountable for the failing enforcement of law in Jamaica. The National Security Minister have I think a 93% disapproval rating. The Commissioner of Police have a 91% disapproval rating. And they're bringing back Rocky Mead after a retirement as Lieutenant General. And the JDF is like a ghost. Yeah, their constables or the people that were trained to enforce law, we hear very little from them as to what they're doing and how involved they are. But now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he is going to take on a new enemy, which is the Haitian gangs. He wants to send Jamaican troops to Haiti to please the U.S. and the UN, because the U.S. doesn't want to do it and the Canadians don't want to do it. So he sees light at the end of the tunnel. If he does it, that would be his crowning glory in the Caribbean.
Sir Herb.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you. Look on your phone. Mr. Rattigan is trying to call you.
Okay.
All right. We do apologize about that, our viewers and listeners. But Wilfred Rattigan is trying to call Mr. Nelson to call in. Try your phone again, Herb, please. Dr. Francis, as soon as Mr. Herb gets in contact with Mr. Rattigan, then, we can sort out certain technical issues. Dr. Francis, you being the head of the task force, does members of the Jamaican diaspora approach you in a way that they say, listen to me, we need to go to donor or maybe to the United States Congress and say, listen to me, people who are the donor countries or donor funds rather, we need to start investigating donor funds. Have anybody approached you with that, sir?
Well, Herbert had an initiative, HR 3949, I think it was called, and he was working, and Herb and a team, including Ambassador Ward, was working on that. That's the only access that I know that they had to the government of the United States, and it was put out there for us to do what we had to. But let me make it quite clear, Jeffrey. that it seems to me that there are many Jamaicans who want to see the change in Jamaica, but they don't want to do it. They want someone else to do it. They're not willing to come and put themselves up front. And the question you must ask is why? Okay? Wilfred Rattigan has done it. Herb Nelson has done it. I'm doing it. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make is this. That until it's like the Marcus Garvey issue. We did not do anything to support Marcus Garvey's issue with the United States government. And our government is like they are just bowing and scraping to the US. Okay? Now, if they were serious about crime and violence, then they would not have backed off the SSL issue with the FBI. They would not have. Okay? Because there are a lot of people who have money in Jamaica and they're scared. Okay? They are scared. But they believe that they must pray about it only and not do any action. Well, I am one of those who I pray, yes, but I do with works as well. Every day, there's no day that I do not engage myself in the business of drawing attention to the whole what's going on in Jamaica. There are many other issues I could bring up right now. Because right now I know a policewoman, for example, who's in New York. And the young lady is 27 years old, of a terminal type of illness. Well, not terminal, it can be. And there's nothing being done to help her by our government. Yet we can have hefty salaries. There's just no justification for it. And with the moment you talk about it, they think that you envy people or you have a bad mind and you don't want them to get. No, that's not the issue. You made promises, you need to keep them. Yes, go ahead.
And that is why members of the diaspora, because the members of the diaspora contribute over how many $1 billion to the Jamaican economy. And that is why they need to put away party politics and save this piece of rock. We came here by labor pain, not by aeroplane or party pain. Our mothers carry us in her womb for 9 livelong months. This nation is bleeding from within. And that is why we are saying, the Make We Talk program, along with other programs, are saying, the diaspora need to stand up and call a spade a spade. We can't continue like this in this country.
Jeffrey, in any other country and any other group of people, right, in the world, the Chinese, the people who are saying they're transgender and whatever, but these people, they seem to get together and they're making waves, right? But we sit down and expect manna to fall from the sky. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because these people, they say they care, but I don't know if they do.
I don't Dr. know. Francis, in which modern democracy, in which other modern democracy, a scale of such high magnitude of corruption with SSL, the Prime Minister of the country has an account with the Stocks and Security Limited. And what he did was to pull out his money out of Stocks and Security Limited. And he knows what's going belly up. Just like how they know that some of the Ponzi scheme back in the 1990s is going to go belly up. They knew about this. The government of Jamaica knew that SSL was a Ponzi scheme to rip off the poor people of this country. You have Hussein Bolt who have millions of dollars in it. Other poor pauperized in Jamaica political money, and it does gone like Sammy Mount. And the Minister of Finance came to the people of this country and lied to the people of this country that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is coming into Jamaica. What is the Federal Bureau of Investigation there? What the question must be asked by members of the diaspora. What is the Andrew Holness-led administration is afraid of? Or are they afraid of the FBI coming in to investigate and find out some bangarang going on?
Well, that is quite the case. I mean, listen to me. There's no rat that sees a cat and is not afraid. And there is no cat that sees a dog. Very few that will stand up to the dog. In other words, they obviously have something to hide. Because I would have thought that this one institution that is run by people who are literally doing work for you and the rest of it, and other government agencies, and not one member of the hierarchy has been called. Only this one woman.
And now we're being told today that the woman in a sworn statement said that is the owner of SSL. He knows about it. I've been saying it, There is absolutely no way.
Yeah.
So, Herb, you're back?
Yes, I'm back with you.
But your camera is frozen. We only see a
Yes,
head.
it's somehow frozen. Let me see if I can shut it off and then shut it back on. Stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I have to do.
And is it that, I keep on saying that there's no way Gene and Panton could carry out such magnitude of billions of dollars, gone like Sammy Mount, and the owners of Stocks and Security don't know anything about it. I wouldn't try fool.
It's impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible.
But what hurts most of all, Dr. Francis, is that the Prime Minister of Jamaica know about it.
It's quite obvious.
And said nothing.
Well, the key thing here is all roads lead to the office of the Prime Minister. Every problem in Jamaica, to include the access to beaches being closed off, to deal with the lack of forthrightness on the part of the finance minister, lack of forthrightness on the part of the health minister, because he came on his program and told us how little it's going to cost to finish off Cornwall Regional Hospital. And a month later, he's asking for $14.3 billion. Right? All of this stuff is completely, unprecedented. You go from $2.5 billion to $14.5 billion. In addition to that $2.5 billion, it makes no sense. So all of these people who are supposed to be in leadership positions, something that I know you have taught classes on, Doc, that you have instructed on. You went to Jamaica, you instructed them on leadership, difference between leadership and management. And these people are completely failing in the leadership department because they're not leading anybody. They're scheming.
Hold on there, Mr. Herb. I have online WILFRED Rattigan. Will, welcome to Make We Talk.
Can he hear you?
Repeat what you said a while ago, Will, because we didn't hear you. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear now. Yes, go ahead.
I can't hear him.
Yes.
And I'm here to share a conversation.
Yes, but before we go any further, we're speaking about SSL. Have you seen the documents from Gene and Banton?
I saw something, I haven't read the document, I saw some report where she said that, as we suspected, that she was convinced or coerced to make that confession, or that you want to call it that statement that she gave to the police or to the authorities. Yeah, I did read it, it kind of glanced at the headline.
Are you all hearing us?
No, I'm not hearing him at all.
Oh, we can't hear Will.
Hold on there. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute for me, please. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Rattigan.
Yeah, everybody can hear me now?
Slightly.
What's going on here? Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Everybody can hear me? Testing. Mic check.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
All right, go ahead now.
Hello, buddy, you can hear me?
I'm hearing.
Yeah, we're hearing you. Go ahead. We're hearing you now. No, he's doing something, so I think he's trying to get back on camera.
Oh, okay, all right, fine. So, thanks for having me, Jeffrey. And,
Right.
Good evening to you, the listening audience, and the captain and Herb. You asked a question about the
SSL.
statement put out by Miss Panton.
Right.
My comment was that I briefly saw a report, or I should say, I took a brief look at it, and I think it mentioned something to the effect that she was coerced into making that statement by the leadership of SSL.
Yes, that's what it said.
Okay. Which we kind of suspected that all along. We didn't think that she was the one who composed and did it of her own free will. That there was something else behind it. So we'll have a pop loose now. She no more than ever, she's going to need some protection, you know?
Yes. Dr. Francis, are you agreeing with Mr. Rattigan is saying?
Absolutely agree with him. I mean, you know, there's more to it than.
Go ahead, Mr. Rattigan.
We don't need it. We don't need it. You don't talk about FBI assistance and FBI presence and FBI help. There's no them going to need it for this woman, yeah? There's no them going to need the FBI to come down there. And in fact, what they probably need to do is take her out of the country and make her a confidential witness. That's what they need to do.
Dr. Francis, you agree with what Mr. Rattigan said, take her out of the country?
Absolutely. She should have been gone already. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. Because she can't, let me tell you something. She is like in a very tenuous position right now. Right? Very tenuous. Because she wanted to and she cannot take the stress anymore. That woman has aged overnight to about 20 years. So the point I'm making is that there is a story. Right? And the only way they can get the story out is they ask for the protection of the FBI to the United States or wherever else. Right?
But the fact of the matter is, Dr. Francis and Mr. Rattigan, if the Minister of Finance came out and lied to the nation that they call FBI, do you think that they would want to be a part of a lying, corrupt government to investigate anything? Yeah. Mr. Rattigan? Are you all here, Mr. Rattigan?
No.
I heard the first part, didn't hear the last part. I heard you mention something about lying minister.
Yes, I'm saying, do you believe that the FBI will want to come into Jamaica to investigate a lying government now who tell the people of Jamaica that they were here when they're not here?
The only thing they come to investigate is investigate him. You know, if they can prove that, well, he's involved in nefarious activities involved in the U.S. banking system or in violation of U.S. law, then they're not going to, I mean, we talked about this before, that this man was not being completely truthful. You know, the FBI has a presence in Jamaica, so if he says, well, the FBI is providing assistance, that may very well be true, but not the kind of assistance that people thought. You know, because people are thinking that, okay, the assistance would be like a plane with FBI agents come down with equipment and all these things to conduct an investigation. And my belief is
hold on there for me, Ratty. Ratty, hold on. They're still okay. They're still not hearing. Make a try this over again. Go ahead, no, Ratty. Oh, they're still hearing. Go ahead.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
Are you hearing him, Dr. Francis?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Go ahead, Red.
Yeah, like I was saying, the FBI has a presence in Jamaica. So the idea that they say, oh, the FBI is here, people should have asked, when you say they're here, you mean the permanent presence here at the embassy, or do you mean that a group of investigators, they're here to assist with SSL? They should have asked them that, because when he says the FBI is here and helping, it could be the same one person at the embassy that they're running leads and say, can you check this, can you check that? So the idea that the FBI is involved in a full-blown investigation with the, plus not only that, remember that we had the CTOC head who said that the FBI, they're not there whenever they're needed. He would make a request. The government would let the FBI know and invite them in. But he said at this point that the FBI is not there. So, I mean, look, I know who to believe, and I know who not to believe. So, and I leave that up to the rest of the country to make their own decision based on the information provided by the Minister of Finance and the fact that we haven't seen any FBI. We don't see any FBI people running around.
Sir Herb, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I've been saying for a very long time that the Minister of Finance has never been straight with us. And you've got so many things that he's come up with. He's come up with the first explanation that the KPMG report from the FSC, that was never sent to him. Then he came up with the FBI being involved. And then we backed him up on the report being sent because we found out that the report was emailed and hand-delivered to his office. So if we have to keep, vetting the stories that he gives us, and now we have to vet how did this pay raise stuff arise, then you have a Minister of Finance you cannot trust. And I don't think that the good Prime Minister can trust him either. But then who is he covering for? Whose tracks is he covering? We have not heard a single thing. There's no transparency from the Commissioner's office, from MOCA, from CTOC, as to the investigation that's supposed to be ongoing to bring the confidence back to the people about SSL. And SSL is still closed down. So what's the progress on the investigation? How comes they stopped giving reporting? They brought this other UK team in and had this big signing ceremony with them. But what's the progress there? What is it looking like? They ought to be able to say what's going on and whether or not the UK team is making progress. We have not heard a single thing about that UK team or any progress that they're supposed to be making.
Wilfred Rattigan, welcome to the program now. We can see you. And we can hear it loud and clear
You're
from
live.
Miguel point, more on point. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, I have to take on myself from a bunch of people at this barbecue here down the road, you know. So
Yes.
it's too noisy inside here. So here I am in the car talking to you.
Will, do you believe that the Minister of Finance and the entire Jamaican government, led by Andronis, is lying to the people of Jamaica pertaining to the FBI in Jamaica and the other company from London that's in Jamaica? Maybe they lied to us about it.
Look, if they're not lying, they're extremely secretive. And, you know, people don't keep secrets of Jamaica. So that leads us to one thing, that apparently they're lying. Because we like I said to you before, the idea that the FBI is providing assistance, when they say that could very well be true. But remember, Jamaica has one FBI agent assigned to the embassy, one Dega agent, right? And it could be that they're requesting information from this agent. So when they come out and say, well, the FBI is assisting, that would be true. Technically, it would be true. But for all practical purposes, it wouldn't be completely true, because when you said that, people are thinking that, you know, you have about 24 agents coming down and they're bringing equipment, they're bringing specialized personnel, they're bringing this, they're bringing that. And that's turning out not to be the case. So when they said that, yeah, the FBI is assisting, they need to clarify and tell people that, okay, you know what, we just go to the embassy and we're conducting liaison with the one person who's there, and that person is providing us some information. So that's all there is to it.
Dr. Francis?
Yes. I'm hearing you.
Do you believe that the government of Jamaica is lying to the people of this country pertaining to the FBI in Jamaica, and also the other company out of London who they say is so-called investigating? Because if they have people out of London investigating this, Mr. Rattigan, we know you're hungry, but you just eat some of the food down there while I want to get ready to stick in you.
No, I mean, I eat enough. Them just give me just get one plate. I'm going to go back and finish up. But that's fine. Continue on. Me not go nowhere.
Dr. Francis, yes. Do you believe that the government is lying to the people of Jamaica and there is no FBI, there is no other investigation arm done investigating anything?
I'm in agreement with you that the government of Jamaica, I don't think the FBI is here at all. I don't think they're here. Because at one stage, they said that the FBI would be called in, and then all of a sudden, we saw no FBI. So, and we haven't heard anything from them. So therefore, it stands to reason that there's no FBI around at all. And the only one person is in the embassy that Ratty spoke about. So I just think that they're misleading us. I think it's going nowhere in regards to, because what is so fundamentally stupid in a sense? How could you have a beryllium? I call it a beryllium at such magnitude, meaning that the only thing missing from SSL and the beryllium is the weaponry. Okay, that's all that's missing. Okay, but there has been an onslaught on the government of Jamaica and its coffers. Okay, and it is clear as a day. There's nobody. People, when you read every report, everything that has been produced, you can see that it is quite clear that somebody's trying to hide something, somebody's trying to sweep something under the rug, and certainly they don't want the SSL saga to be played out in the public arena. They don't want it.
Wilfred Rattigan, are you there?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this question, Wilfred Rattigan. You had somebody from the FBI, retired FBI agent, on your program on Saturday. And he was saying that the FBI has no jurisdiction in Jamaica. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think he was saying that, you know, it will be hard for the government to ask them to come in because it has to go through so many layers of government within the American government for the FBI to come down. Am I correct in what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me clarify. The the FBI doesn't have. They say that they have international jurisdiction, but they really don't, especially in a case where you have a financial investigation. If it's terrorism and then you have Americans involved, yes, but still, Jamaica is a sovereign country, so they can't just come in. And I've seen it where they tried to come in a country in the Middle East, and they were told no, they had to wait. So the same thing here. If no, let's say no Americans were involved in SSL, right? Then it purely would be a case of request for international assistance. It would, and then what would happen is that they would try and put a team together and then send the team down, because that would help the office and help to cement the relationship between the FBI and the local law enforcement and the government. That's in the event where there's no American involved. If Americans are involved, then yes, they would claim jurisdiction, but at the same time, the jurisdiction would be completely subject to that foreign country saying, okay, you can come in and you can talk to our citizens and we will give you assistance and we will do this and we will do that. Because even if Americans are involved, that foreign country could say, no, we will conduct the investigation and we will turn over the results to you. So, but I don't think Jamaica would be in a position to do that, to tell them that. So if Americans were involved, then and the FBI became aware of it, then they would definitely knock on Jamaica's door through the embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and say, listen, Americans are involved. I think in Jamaica's case, they say we're coming in. In some countries, they say, we'd like to come in. And then, entry is granted, and so they come in and then they set up shop. But again, I don't know if there were victims, American victims in the SSL, and if there were victims in American victims in SSL, I don't know if they complained to the FBI, because the FBI, they can only respond to what they know. So if nobody complained to them, then they're not going to get involved. Although that's not quite true. Because I've seen cases where they got involved because of a newspaper report. So it depends. It depends. But to be clear, though, to be absolutely clear, I don't think this mass FBI presence that people are thinking what's going to happen, I don't think it happened.
Wilfred Rattigan, you're a former. You're coming to you, Dr. Francis and Sir Herb Nelson. Wilfred Rattigan, you're a former FBI agent and attorney at law. From a law perspective, the lady Jean and Panton now has assigned some documents stating that the owners of SSL knew all along that this bangarang and theftery to the highest magnitude was going on with such a word, theftery. Because, you have Pinks and Pablos, we can say some close, But, the theftery that is going on at SSL. You are an attorney at law. If you were her attorney, what would you advise her to do?
Well, at this point, if I got on her legal team, no, at this point, I would be knocking on at the U.S. Embassy's gate and asking for all kinds of protection because of the information that she has. She has information that I believe at this point could actually sink a lot of people, a lot of influential people in Jamaica. And so I would say, no, we can't trust the locals to take care of you. We can't trust the locals to protect you at this point in time, because the information that you're giving already is very damaging to some influential people in Jamaica. And it's quite possible that she has information that's even more damaging to people at the highest elements of the government. So I would be seeking protection for her and try and turn her into a confidential witness. And also, I would hope the FBI would go through the list of victims to see if there are Americans involved. Because once Americans are involved, then fine. But even if you don't have Americans, if you can show that the money, right, this money came from a tainted source and they use the American banking system, that's enough to get your jurisdiction.
But do you believe, Wilfred Rattigan, that the government of Jamaica so corrupt in what they are doing now You believe that we don't want FBI in Jamaica?
Uh, no. And put yourself in their position. If you were in their position, would you want the FBI in Jamaica? No. Because the thing about the FBI is that the FBI is not controlled by any foreign entity. And so once they come in and they start looking, they're going to go wherever the evidence takes them, which might very well be at some people's doorsteps. And they don't want that. So,
Is it that the FBI may go over to the House of Jamaica and you know what I mean?
let me just say that they will go wherever the evidence is going to take them. That's where they're going to go. And they wouldn't be they wouldn't be concerned at all about this house, that house, wherever. They wouldn't care about houses. I mean, wherever the evidence points, that's where they're going.
Sir Herb Nelson, you is involved in investigating and so forth. If I'm saying this thing correctly now, based on all that is sitting in front of us, what do you think is going to come out of this SSL case?
The problem is where has the investigating team initiated its tracking and tracing? Do they actually have records that they can follow? Do they have computer logs that they can follow that and if it was deleted, can they recover them? See, it becomes a technical situation where you need these data specialists recovering the data and setting up the traces and actually doing the traces to see what IP addresses are involved. So it becomes a very technical matter at this stage. Now, this is why the British forensic team is there. They're supposed to be the ones that can do this, that can accomplish this. And if they successfully accomplish it, then people who are involved, whose computers were used, they should be identifying them shortly. Now, I don't know where they are with the investigation, but this is a big key to the investigation, the technical portion where they have to do recovery. And if they're successful with the recovery, then it's possible some of the 40 people might begin to get the monies back. If they can't track and trace where the funds went to, then all 40 people, including Bolt, is going to be out of luck. And then they're going to have to figure out who's going to reimburse him at that point. But the more interesting is what can the good lady add to the conversation?
You mean Jean and Panton?
Yes. What secret does she have that she can give that's direct evidence of complicity, direct evidence of shenanigans that was going on in SSL, direct evidence that it was covered up by the FSC as well as the Ministry of Finance? If she can do these things, then you may have people that can be sued so that these folks can get the monies back. So if you talk about recovery, it's either going to be civil, but the criminal provisions, if people are charged criminally, that would add more power to the civil case, I believe.
Dr. Francis, the question I asked Herb Nelson a while ago, what is your views on the whole thing? Do you think that somebody will be going to prison? Should I refer this question to Rupert Rattigan?
I will defer that one to Ratty because I'm laughing just like him. Jamaica prison. What prison in Jamaica? There's no prison in Jamaica. So no, we're not going to go into prison. They're going to go to a clubhouse. a clubhouse. That's what happened.
Wilfred Rattigan, you said a while ago that if you were her lawyer, you would approach the American embassy for protection. But right now, she's still in police custody.
Mm-hmm. No, man, we can arrange. That can be arranged, man. I've seen things done. That can be arranged.
In what way?
That can be arranged.
If she's in custody of the Jamaican authority, who they claim is investigating SSL problem, the scamming that went on of SSL, where the Prime Minister of Jamaica knew about the bloody scamming and withdraw his money and says nothing to the people of Jamaica, says nothing to the NHT, says nothing to other government entity. You believe that they'll give her up?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. How much money did he withdraw? How much money
Every single dime.
How much?
Everything.
How much?
We never got a number. That's the thing. You know, people are talking about his withdrawal, but no numbers.
Well, listen to me. It is out there that interest-free loans have been made to ministers of government. Interest-free loans.
Yeah.
All right?
We have to sing on the play now. Come on, Dr. Francis, start.
No, is the FBI agent supposed to tell you this?
No. You said something a while ago that is
profound.
Continue.
Herb is the researcher. Him is the, it was the knife man, and I'm just the standby.
No, but you said something a while ago, Dr. Francis.
No, but it's true. No, hold on. It's not a secret. It's not a secret.
Well, I didn't know about that.
Eh?
I didn't know about that.
Yes, man.
It was a secret to me because I didn't know about it.
Well, Ratty, you have surprised me today because I never knew that there was anything that you were not aware of, honestly.
But I will say this.
No,
what you said that they did? They get interest who?
Yes. Let me tell you something. It was like a cook shop where nobody paid for them lunch. Nobody paid for them food. Nobody paid for the chef. It was just them go and take what they want and then leave. It was a free for all. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
So you're saying that the goodly gentleman who pull out the money must he get the interest-free loan for building multi-billion-dollar mansion? Jeffrey, shut him out.
Well, let me tell you, Jeffrey, the only thing I can tell you is that some people have some evidence. You'll be surprised. So guess what? I will talk to them and see they'll send you the evidence. How about that?
So, that sounds good, Wilfred Rattigan. Back to you. Let me ask you this. Bangarang tonight, they playing the signal hard tonight. Let me say something. Let me ask you this question, Wilfred Rattigan. Based on all of this, you believe that they will give up Gene and Panton to be secured by the Americans if it comes to that test?
Yeah, look, anything is possible, man. You can. Well, first of all, you have to verify the information that's being attributed to her. So we'd have to figure out, did she really say these things, or is it just somebody trying to make mischief? And if that is the case, like I said, the key is whether or not Americans are involved. You would think that because the government says the FBI is involved, that they would allow the FBI to have an interest in her, meaning sit down and talk to her. But keep in mind what the head of CTOC said. He said, and remember what the Minister of Finance said. He said that when the head of CTOC said that the FBI was not involved, he was referring to the investigation of Miss Panton.
Mm-hmm.
As if Miss Panton is completely removed from the investigation. She's central to all of this, right? And so I think he was laying the foundation to say, well, then the FBI will not have access to her, because he's saying the CTOC, the minister said that the CTOC person, when he said that the FBI was not involved, he was referring to the local investigation of Miss Panton. So apparently what they're saying is that we're not going to allow Miss Panton to talk to at least the FBI. I don't know if they'll ever talk to the British or the Canadians or whomever. But at least the FBI, they're saying that there is no need to talk to her because it's a local investigation, which is nonsense. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. And that's why I can tell you that I don't believe the FBI is involved in this, at least not on the scale or on the level that the minister made it out to be. There's no group of FBI agents running around it, because one of the first persons they'd be talking to is Miss Jean Panther. That's what's her name? Jean. Yeah. They would be talking to Jean Panton to get her statement on the record. That's one of the first things. If I were leading the charge, that's one of the first things we do. First things, and then she would start put out tentacles, and then you start follow those tentacles.
Then Mr. Rattigan, if those tentacles and lenticles and manticles point to the house of Lords up on Hope Road, would you go up to that house of Lords where the Vumva and the Vumva sit down every day, and how much acre land being manicured and pedicured by the Jamaican people? Would you go up there and ask the dictator some questions?
Oh yeah, because like I said, what would happen is that wherever the evidence, wherever it points, that's where you go. And if it means that we'd have to go talk to some people, yeah, we go talk to some people. Hey, look, I tell you what, I've interviewed some people that you'd be surprised if I ever told you, right? And I wasn't afraid. And in fact, I was in their country, and I wasn't afraid. I just went and I did what I had to do. I had a directive from headquarters saying, go interview this guy about this, and that, or go interview this lady about this, and that. Because that's where the evidence is pointing. And I went. So I wouldn't have any issues. I would have no issues going up there and talking to them. Well, I can't know because I'm no longer in the position to do so, but I hope that whoever is on duty for the FBI, that they wouldn't have, not hope. I know that they have no fear of doing that. They'd gladly do it.
Dr. Francis, let me answer this question. Based on all of the bangarang going on in our country and all of this corruption going on, is the Crime Prevention Task Force willing to put a lawsuit against the government of Jamaica?
Well, we have been considering it, and looking at it, and it is going. I think it's going to happen.
When will this happen, sir? Because what is going on now, it is calling for the people outside of Jamaica to put a stop in to the rampant corruption in our country. Jamaicans who live in Jamaica, majority didn't know that they could put a lawsuit against the government. So can you tell us now on this platform?
There's already a lawsuit by the law students of the Northern and the law school. Are you aware of that?
No, Dr. Francis, with all due respect to
No. I'm asking a question. No. I'm asking a question. Are you aware? And are you aware we supported it? We sent it out to nearly 100 places on the internet. That means maybe as many people as you can think about what Jamaicans. And we've had good responses so far. But let me make it quite clear. Responses, anonymous responses and actual responses are two different things. When it comes to Jamaica, we do everything to we do everything to make noise and so on and so forth. But when it comes to support the people, support Rattigan, support me, support the crime task force, whatever, you're not going to see some of them. And it's not, and some of them are afraid, yes, but some of them they just want it to be over. They want it to be done. They want I don't know what they want. I don't know what Jamaicans really want.
But you are the head of the task force. You don't think you could?
I'm the head of the task force, Jeffrey. Hold on. Let me make it quite clear. I'm the head of the task force, but I cannot compel anyone. I can ask for assistance, but I cannot compel anyone to do as I do. I can do what I do. I can do. I can do it in concert with Ratty, and I can do it with Herb. You know, they're solid, but you can't. I mean, I will tell you, and I told you earlier on that we put as notice on the board. I don't know if Ratty saw it, asking persons to submit their thoughts and so on, and all I got was one. He can verify it. And these are people who are of standing, right? But there was one. It's as simple as that.
Are they afraid of the government? Are you afraid of the government, Mr. Francis?
I am not afraid of anybody. I'm not
WILFRED
afraid of anybody. I'm not even afraid. Listen, I'm not afraid of death, nothing. Let me tell you a joke. I went the other day to the hospital to do a procedure, right? And I was talking to the nurse. And I was talking, and then I woke up, and the next thing I see was 2 hours later I woke up. I didn't know what happened between the time I was talking to her and 2 hours. That means that's like death. I wouldn't have known any different. I didn't feel any pain or nothing. But the point I'm making is that not being afraid is being able to go out there and articulate. You're not alone. It's like you're in command of a set of troops. And when you go out and you turn back, you don't see nobody. So
there's nobody to signal the plane.
What's that?
There's nobody to signal the plane.
Nobody else. You have Ratty sometime. I hear him talk to them blue in the face. The man's a black man and turn blue in the face. Right? And Herb too. Me hear them.
Let me ask WILFRED Rattigan and Herb Nelson this question. Do you believe, as a member of the Jamaican diaspora, that the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Prevention Task Force should put a lawsuit against the government of Jamaica?
I think this is a prime opportunity. I've said it in the past, and I say it again. It's a prime opportunity to get that done, to signal to Dr. Chang and the rest of the law enforcement community in Jamaica that we can, in fact, effect action when we need to. And this is a case where we most likely need to get this done, right? It wouldn't be the first because there are 2 of them out there already. And it won't be the last because there's more to come. So we need to get this done soonest. And the idea behind it is start holding people accountable, start holding them to the word. And if we have the opportunity to question them on the oath, then probe as deep as you can go with the evidence we have and show that they're either lying or that somebody has lied.
Can I ask a question, Herb? You said earlier today, and I just want to ask a question. The thing went before the court yesterday. What was the result of that?
Yeah, I'm getting to that part. Hold on a minute. I'm getting to that part. Hold on a minute. Ratty, do you think that the Crime Prevention Task Force should put a lawsuit against this corrupt, inhumane government?
Well, look, the fittest person to answer that question is a gentleman above me. That man is the fittest man to answer because now you're asking me to usurp his position and ask him whether or not his organization should file a lawsuit. All I can say is this, right? All I can say is that we shouldn't have to wait for an organization to file a lawsuit. I mean, it would be nice, but the problem is this: the mechanics of getting an organization to file a lawsuit, it's cumbersome because then you're gonna have to get affidavits, and I don't know if the doctor can get people to put their name on the sign their name on the dotted line, saying that we believe that there is skullduggery going on in Jamaica and that we should bring this to light. I don't know if he's gonna get people to do that, but and then he's gonna somebody's name has to be there saying that they're representing a class, let's say for example, and then you're gonna have to get affidavits, and it has to be certified by the court. So the easiest way to go about it would be for individuals, like the good doctor, for example, to say, okay, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna file a lawsuit on my own. Right? I don't need the organization because it's too cumbersome. And we need to get things going right away. We need to let these people know that we mean business. So I guess what I'm saying is that yes, it would be nice for the organization to do so, but it's gonna be unless you have a real tight organization where there is unity in purpose and there is trust, there's dedication, and people are willing to put their names on the line. Unless you have that, you might as well just do it individually. And I don't know if if the group is at that stage where, he feels all the things that are all the things I just said, if they have manifested themselves in the group. I don't know.
But people will say, I'll make you come in, Dr. Frank, but people will say that an organization as the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Prevention Task Force has been around from Wappy kill Philip. And Philip dead long time. People would say that, the organization should. Pardon me?
And Wappy too?
Yes, all of them dead. And the signal the plane is soon drive too. But the fact of the matter is...
Can I answer? I know where you're going with this. Hold on. Let me explain something to you. If I do believe that something should be done on behalf of the task force, I do believe that. And I've expressed that in every quarter that I've been on other shows and what I've expressed that. And the question we have to ask ourselves is that, and yes, it should be done. Something has to be done about the situation in Jamaica. There are a few things, I said some things earlier that you were not aware of. And, there are things that are happening right now that would make you gawk, to be quite honest with you. Because it's
remember to go drink some drunk or batty rum?
Boy, I don't know. I can't handle rum anymore. But to be quite honest with you, that not gonna help you. Just action. You have to just decide. Your mind.
Wilfred Rattigan. Yeah. Let me ask you this question. You put a lawsuit against Camilla Johnson Smith, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, who is still the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. What happened in the court today? You have any idea? You can explain because people in the platform and the chat room asking about it.
Yeah. What happened was they had their legion of lawyers show up, and of course I'm used to that. I'm used to filing lawsuits and I have 10, 12 lawyers on the other side, and I'm there with my lawyer by myself. So that's okay. What they essentially asked the judge to do, well, first of all, the judge said that, which is kind of strange, she said that she was just handed the case before we went live, and that she didn't know anything about it. As astounding as it sounds, that's exactly what happened today. She said, I was given the case, I don't know anything about it. And then she proceeded to start finding, she said she found at least one issue with it, that's kind of strange because she didn't even ask my lawyer, hey, how would you address this? But yet still she said she found an issue. And that issue that she claimed she found is a non-issue because we could easily answer that. But be that as it may, they asked for time to respond. Again, that's astounding because if she filed, all she had to do is just attach that gift form to the filings that they gave to the court and to my lawyer. And that.
Wilfred Rattigan, you must ask the question though. Is it that there is some cover-up going on with the minister and the judicial system in Jamaica?
Well, you know what? At this point, I'm not prepared to take that step because I want to say I believe in the judicial system of Jamaica and that the judges are independent and objective and they will look and decide without fear, friendship, or favor being a factor. But it just struck me as being kind of strange that the judge was just given the case just before she got on the bench to address our issue. And she didn't know, she said she didn't know anything about it. And then she proceeded to do a scan, and then suddenly she come up with an issue, which is a non-issue. And the issue was whether or not I have standing to bring this lawsuit. And there's more than enough reason.
So that hold on there. They're saying if you have standing. Aren't you a Jamaican citizen living in the diaspora? When the
Yeah.
Labour Party and the PNP want money for run this scamming campaign to tell the people of this country that they will give you a good road, well then go. So how you mean if you have good standing?
I don't know if you mean credit standing.
Let me say. May I say something here? What Ratty's experience is what I know would have happened anyway, and all of us knew that. They had to come full force to show that they are going to answer, or they're going to try to quash. And they're going to try by saying he doesn't have any standing. Well, obviously she has to find legal precedents to be able to do that. So I know it will be difficult for them to throw it out, especially now that it becomes a public news. And they can present if they don't present the document, they're going to lose a lot of credibility, no matter who. So and I do believe that it is, but I think also that what we need to do is to get more people supporting. There's a lot of people. When I look at Ratty's thing the other day, there are almost 20,000 people who are supporting what he was saying. Herb, when you guys are on. So I mean, they should be afraid of that, because that is not easy to come by. That people are listening, and if 20,000 people are listening, their relatives, maybe 10 in number, they're listening too, and most of them are Jamaicans. That's the feedback I'm getting.
Look, the idea about standing is a non-issue, because here's what happened. Standing is not based on residency, right? Standing is not based on residency, and standing is not even based on citizenship. Standing is based on your connection to the issue, right? Yeah. And your interest in the issue. That's what it's based on. And look, the fact that I'm a Jamaican, the fact that I've applied for this position to go back home 3 times, the fact that I send money on a regular basis to family members living there, the fact that I'm a member of the diaspora and the diaspora engagement policy speaks about the interest of the diaspora members in Jamaica. There's also another thing called mapping the diaspora, where they're saying you need to come back home. That shows interest. So this is nonsense, but I won't say it now, but I have a plan B that's going to blow them out of the water with everything that they come up with today, which is what you know what it is? They're clutching at straws, because here's how they could have ended this today. They could have easily said, you know what, Judge, here's the filing that the minister did comply with the requirements, and that would have been the end of it.
Wilfred Rattigan, you must ask the question, though, Will. Why did the Prime Minister, along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, get rid of the State Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade? Is it that he knows that the thing wasn't filed? Some shibangarang going on when they get rid of the man?
And him alone. I can tell you, lots of people at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and at the ministry, they know that this thing wasn't filed. Then there are people, I know that I believe it, right? And in time I'll be able to prove it, that she didn't file or she filed, but she didn't claim the gift with the Integrity Commission. I believe it. I can't prove it, but in the fullness of time, it will be proven that she didn't file with the tax administrator of Jamaica, and she didn't file the gift as income, or file it as gift and pay the required taxes on it. Right? Those 2 things I can't prove right now, but I believe that she didn't file. But the one with the Ministry of Finance, I can prove that she didn't file. Right? So all they have to do was just show up today and say, hey, Mr. Rattigan, the information you have about the ministry. Look, if they really wanted to quash this case, they could have showed up today and said, listen, you only believe that you didn't file with the tax people and with the Integrity Commission, but you have no evidence, right? No. All right, fine, we'll dismiss those. And the other one that you're talking about with the Ministry of Finance, you have a letter saying that she didn't file, right? Yeah. But here's a letter that she did file, and people didn't see it, people couldn't find it, or she filed after. End of story. They could have ended it today. They could have ended it today. But you know what? They couldn't. In order to end it, they're going to have to do one thing that they have refused to do since last year. I know what that is. To tell the Jamaican people who gave her those funds. They have to tell.
Go ahead.
And that's the problem. Because if they say that she filed, then we say, okay, good. Now give us the gift form so we can see who gave her the money. And they don't want to. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
Because
So anyway, she turn. Anyway, this lady, anyway, she turn, man. Makajuka. Yeah, man. Anyway, she turn, Makajuka. Because if she don't file, look, at the end of the day, she has to file. And then get this. And this is very important for the Jamaican people to understand. The gift, when given, it should have been vetted. It should have gone to either the cabinet for approval or to the permanent secretary. What's the distinguishing feature? The distinguishing feature is if the gift is determined to be significant to Jamaica, then it has to go to the cabinet for approval. If it's determined to be insignificant, then it has to go to the permanent secretary. And those two things must take place, followed by entry into the budget. And then you can accept the gift. And none of them things are not happen, brother. None of them things are not happen. You so much steps me just on gear. And look, and me I make this up, you know. These are the rules and these are the laws of Jamaica. I'm not making these things up. People can go and look at the Financial Audit Act for themselves. They can go and look at the circular out of the Ministry of Finance. They can go and look at the tax law of Jamaica. They can go and look at the Integrity Commission Act of 2017. I'm not making these things up. These things exist, right? But anyway, to turn, that's why they cannot put anything out. That's why they have to come and try and dismiss the case. But they make a sad mistake if they think the case are going to go so. Because we have plan B and we have plan C. We're not going to talk them out now right now. But we have a whole heap of plan for them. And what's going to happen is that at some point in time, whether them throw the case or not, she's going to have to file and tell us who give the money. Because as of right now, Fin Partners, based on their documents that I have, they're saying she gave them the money. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe that to be the case where she paid $33,000 in April, 33 in May, and 33 in June. I don't believe she made a payment. But the papers indicate that.
So, okay, if you don't believe that she paid Fin Partners, Sir Rattigan, is it that Fin Partners is lying about it then?
No, I think that somebody, I don't think the minister paid them, and I don't think the donors, I don't think it's the donors. I think somebody paid them.
Is it that the Minister of Misinformation is the one who paid Jeffrey shot him out?
Somebody paid them, and that's why we have requested that information from the U.S. government to say who paid Fin Partners. And when we get that, Jeffrey, we're going to break it on your news channel. When we get the paperwork saying who made the payment to Fin Partners, you know, and God forbid, done by a government official.
I lost you there, Wilfred Rattigan. It seems like they don't want you to talk at all, will you? I lost you.
Yeah, your last statement broke up.
We're not hearing you at all, Will. Well, we're not hearing you. We're not hearing you at all. If we're not going to come
I think he said, God forbid that is a government official who paid it.
No, I'm a Virgin Jamaica call me I'm inside of the party there and he asked me if I gone left him, but me tell him say no, me outside and up on your program. So he might have can't come join me, I'm have to just wait.
There you go. You're saying that God forbid it was some government official who paid it.
Yes, because here's what happened now. We have the minister in August of last year. We have the Minister of Information who came out and said that transaction was a private transaction between corporate Jamaica and a private entity in New York. The government didn't have nothing to do with it. And that was the sentiment, that was the indication, that was the information. So now if we find out now that let's say a government official made the payment, no, that is a real story. That is a real story.
And we must drag the Jamaican people memory about something, you know. It's the same Labour Party government who paid Manat Phelps and Phillips, that's her name, for the whole Dudu Saga case.
And the source of those funds was ill-gotten gains, which cost Mr. Vaz and his wife their visas, their U.S. visas. So the fact of the matter is, if that's why they have to check the source of the funds. They have to do due diligence to ensure that the money is legit. It came from legit sources.
Right.
And that's why now we gotta go wait and see. Once she declares, where did the money come from? Yeah.
But check this out, right? Check this out how slack these people are, right? Check out how slack. And now they're being held to their own standard and them vex. All of these things we're talking about, should have taken place before she accepted the gift, All of this should have taken place before April of last year. All of this, meaning that the filing should have been done, the vetting should have been done, the approval should have been done, the budgeting should have been done. All of those 4 things were supposed to be done before the end of April last year, 2022, because she started getting the benefits the end of April 2022. And all of these things were supposed to be, and the law makes it quite clear. It says these things are supposed to be done before you accept the gift. And here it is, more than a year later, no filing. No filing.
And not only that, Wilfred Rattigan, the Jamaican people must understand that a Wilfred Rattigan, a retired FBI agent, attorney at law, talk show host, a Herb Nelson Jr., a Dr. Rupert Francis, and a Jeffrey Tavares, is not trying to bring down the Honest administration,
No.
What we are doing is to highlight the level of cronyism, corruption, and nepotism that is going on with poor people money. Because the people of Jamaica did not ask Prime Minister Holness nor Camellia Johnson Smith to run for Secretary General of the Commonwealth. We did not ask her that. And they used taxpayers' money to put her up to run for Secretary General. All because the former disgraced Prime Minister of Great Britain, Boris Johnson, was the one who called Andrew Holness and tell him, listen man, put up somebody. All because Boris did not like the lady who is now the current Secretary General of the Commonwealth. But what's your name? Scotland?
Yeah.
Baroness Patricia Scotland.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the listeners who are just joining us, we are trying to tell you all that the time has come. A Wilfred Rattigan, a Wayne Lonesome, has filed lawsuits to show the people of Jamaica that the government of Jamaica is our servant. We pay them, them don't pay we. And until we make them understand that we will not put up with their shibangarang anymore.
Jeffrey, let me ask you a question. Somebody come to you and say, listen, we know you have an agreement with Herb Nelson to do certain things, but we're going to ask you to break your agreement with Herb Nelson. The hell with Herb Nelson. We want you to do where Dr. Francis, we like Dr. Francis, and Dr. Francis have something now going on. And we want you to align with him and forget about Herb. You heard about our comrades and our good friends and our partners and our amigos and our everything. But we want you to forget about Herb and go deal with Dr. Francis, right? The obvious question you would have said, because you and Herb have a very tight friendship, and you say, well, right, if me do this now, it's going to cause a friction now between our friendship, especially since Herb are going to know now, say, you're going to align yourself with Rupert Francis. The question I would ask myself is, what's in it for me? You asked me to do this, but why? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Now, that is a question that we need to ask. Why is it that Jamaica violated the consensus agreement they had with CARICOM? And because they had an agreement, like I think was in February or so, and then 4 weeks or so later, they decided, no, we're going to put up our own candidate. And why? Because other countries, and this came out of the mouth of the minister herself, other countries convinced them to do all of this stuff. And you said to yourself, so hold on now, other countries convince you to spend $43 million of your taxpayers' money. And for what? When you get out of it, what them give you to do, you do that. Somebody just tell you to do something, and you spend $43 million of your taxpayers' money for nothing, and you never win. For what? When you get out of it? No, you know, the other day the British foreign minister come and come bearing gifts. Him come bearing gifts. Something or something.
And not only that, the UN
Further. That are just the gifts what we know about, you know. Maybe there are other gifts that we don't know about. Because I'm telling you, people only need to listen to me. Listen to me. If you don't believe upon nothing I say, just put yourself in the position and say, would you as a leader of a country take advice from somebody who not giving you a dime, and all I'm telling you is that you put up your candidate and run, and you go take $43 million out of your public coffers and spend, and you know get win nothing, and you know get nothing out of it. And then I saw you fool. I saw you fool that people just come and tell you things, you just go spend people money, and spend the taxpayers' money and do it, and then to make matters worse, you don't give an account of that money. Including, you don't give an account of the money, the $99,000. Because you shouldn't even take the money for PR since the $99,000 that came in. You shouldn't take the money from the government for the PR. But that is the situation where we have, where we spend $43 million because some countries told us that we should put up our own candidate. Told what? They got something out of this, Jeffrey. They got something out of this. And the foreign minister come the other day and said, oh, I'm giving you money for disaffected youth to deal with troubled youth and da 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 da. They just get, what, 30 million or something like that less than a year ago from the VP, the American VP, to do the same thing. I want to see where the money go.
But not only that, that is why we are saying that members of the diaspora, along with the prevention task force and other people, must ask questions. Where is the money that the VP of America gave to Prime Minister Andrew Holness for the people of Jamaica? Where the money disappeared to?
Well, maybe, hey, I tell you what, you ask a question with the diaspora. You see that gentleman over there wearing the black t-shirt, I would say. I can't see it.
It's a Jamaican.
American. It's a Jamaican, him name Black Old Part-Time. I'm going to say that he look like American. But anyway, yeah.
Jamaican, then Florida.
Jamaican. No, get out with the diaspora. Now, there's a case where this gentleman can file a lawsuit and say, listen, because all the money that our taxpayer money, American taxpayer money, go down the feet. We want to know, want you to give an accounting of that money. Plus, you know what happened to? Herb is located in close to Washington, D.C. Herb have him links in the Congress. We should go to the Congressional Black Caucus and all the people who are responsible for financing the Caribbean. Go to the State Department, the desk responsible for Jamaica, and say, where is that money? We need to see an accounting. Because one thing I can tell you, where Americans get touchy about, how you spend taxpayers' money. They're very touchy on that. And if you ever say to them, say, hey, the money will not get Jamaica, nobody will know where the money gets, just vanish. Big problem. They might go have hearings in Washington and heads have a roll. And then now the file book are going to open up now and we're going to say all kind of things. That's what we need to do. But we stand firmly behind Dr. Rupert Francis, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man who is too sweet to be sour. We need him. We have been back for Jeffrey.
Because we need to signal the plane. The plane signal.
I vote for Jeff. I vote for Jeffrey to rock. Hold on, Jeffrey. Make me talk now. Now make you talk. I vote for Jeffrey Tavares to go and file the thing. All right, okay. Oh, there you go. So you make me talk now, okay? Okay, good. Listen to me. All I'm saying, I think that joke aside, we have joke aside. Let's say no. I think it is very interesting, and
Jeffrey.
no. But there's a lot of logics in what is being said, and I think that Jamaica, I think they have not honored their diaspora policy. I honestly do not think that that's sweet. They're not true. Yes, man. Finally get you. Let me talk.
Sorry.
No, but seriously, you made a very good point there, though, Ratty, in regards to the diaspora policy. If you read that, because I was part of writing that whole diaspora policy, putting it together over if you remember, and it is specific. It tells you, and they have not honored. They said they took it to cabinet and it was approved, and yet nothing has happened. And I think that young man who was the vice or deputy minister, he might have said something in the wrong place, and that's it for him. I'm talking about the wrong person.
But Dr. Francis,
yes.
Don't you, as the head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Prevention Intervention Task Force, can't you write a letter to Maxine Walters, who is a part of the American Congress pertaining to donor funds, and we must ask the question: where does the money that the VP of America gave to the Prime Minister to help at-risk youth? Can't you write a letter to her to start investigating that?
Well, I mean, yes, I think we can do that. Certainly, we can do it.
I didn't hear you, sir.
I think yes, it is quite. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We have to do something. We can do that, yes, of course.
No, we must do it, man. We not can do. We must do it, man. Things have to change, man.
You see, this thing is taking on a new sense of urgency, Doc, because I think that's what a lot of people are saying now. This new sense of urgency is based on the fact that these people have been robbing and stealing from the treasury, put our money out into SSL, and then that money disappear. All right, and then the turnaround now, after these various escapades and giving themselves a big reward just in case they lose the election, they make sure as opposition members they're going to earn in the 20s of millions, which to me is unconscionable. I think everybody ought to take a look at the JAMP portal and see what JAMP is saying about every one of their ministers in Parliament. And you decide if you think these people are worth anything near 20 million, much less 34 million for the Governor General, who does not represent the people of Jamaica. He's there to represent the Queen, not the Queen, but the King of England, right? And these ungodly sums of money, when people are starving, and 2 million people cannot sufficiently meet the basic feeding standard for nourishment in Jamaica. 2 million. And that means a little over 500,000 people are able to adequately feed themselves and meet the feeding standard. So you're going to make these people keep eating steak while you have to go eat chicken back.
No, man, I mean mackerel.
Mackerel. I'm insulting mackerel, but my God,
I love tin mackerel, but we'll so we must call it that name. What we call it in Jamaica, the dirty of the girl. Because we have not signal the plane.
This is too funny.
Doc, I think what you're saying, is it's time we move forward. We can't procrastinate no more.
Right.
And
And listen, I just want to make a quick announcement. Is that and we have some really strong supporters out there. There's a young lady, I won't call her name, but she's in the Washington D.C. area. She just sent me a message. Young lady, I know you're listening. This lady, when she calls me, she speaks with such passion and such love about Jamaica and her desire, her yearning to go back home, but because of everything that's going on, And I just want her to know tonight, and I want the entire Jeffrey Tavares army, I want her to know tonight that the foundation that we're speaking about, I filed it today, and I am waiting now I think I'm going to get the certified copy of the Articles of Incorporation. I think I'll get it, I think Tuesday or so, sometime next week. Once that's done, then we're going to go file everything with IRS to get the tax exempt status. So all of you out there who would like to make a contribution of $100 or more, then we're looking forward to it. And we're going to keep you apprised every step of the way about how the money is spent and the approval process in terms of the initiatives that we're gonna identify and support. But again, to let you know that I actually filed the document today. It's a holiday in America, but the beauty of doing things online. So they sent me back a response saying that they've received it, everything looks good, so we're ready to proceed. So that's where we are. And then what happens is that once we get this foundation up and running, then we won't have to bother with a WILFRED Rattigan or a Wayne Lonesome or a Dr. Francis or a Herb Nelson to file these lawsuits, because the foundation will file these lawsuits. We'll take care of all the expenses and file it. And then we can file more lawsuits. We can file bigger lawsuits. We can get more law firms, more investigators involved. And also we have the PRPs. Like you said, the piece of them have with sandals, showing how beautiful the beaches are, and you must come to Jamaica and have a good time and feel good and everything all right. Well, we plan to do a commercial where it's a takeoff, it's a spin-off off of that. But we're gonna show 93% of Jamaica black, right? At least that's what the demographics say. We're going to show them behind the gate with them face, hook up on the gate and look on the beach and can't go up on it. And say to the tourists, this is what you're coming to Jamaica to do at the expense of those whose ancestors died, so that they could have a free country for living on. And it's still not free. Them can't go up on it, but no can't come on it. So we're going to name and shame them. That's what the foundation is all about. Anything having to do with the government of Jamaica, and not just this government, any government. As long as it's not treating the people the way the people are supposed to be treated, we're going after them to get them to comply. And like Jeffrey said earlier, it's not about regime change. We're not trying to kick Andrew and his cabinet out of business or anything. We're trying to get them to do a course correction and do what's right for the people. And so that the people can vote their conscience and say, well, yeah, these people are doing great, and so we're going to vote them in again. I don't care who you vote for, as long as you vote for somebody who's doing stuff in your best interest. So it's not about regime change, it's about course correction. But there comes a point in time, if we don't see no course correction, then we have to employ a different tactic. Just want to be clear about that.
Dr. Francis, I don't know if you saw a video where members of the Jamaican Constabulary Force was pushing a service car, pushing it down the road. And the Minister of National Insecurity and Injustice, along with his Commissioner of Police, the Twiddly Dum Dum, had an expo the other day. And about a week after, the members of the JCF pushing a car.
Hold on there. Sorry to interrupt you. But the exposition went from Thursday to Sunday. And I think it was by the Tuesday, 2 days after, so they declared state of emergency. And then they start pushing the car.
Pushing the cars.
Yeah. You talk about signal the plane, how about pushing the car?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. Francis.
Yeah.
You are the head of the division, the task force, sir. Have you at any time asked the American government to look into how much billions of dollars are given to the JCF to fight crime in Jamaica? Where's the money going, sir?
The JCF?
The Jamaica
Who is the
Constabulary
JCF?
Force.
Yes, but who in the JCF has gotten this money?
The Ministry of National Security.
Yeah, but the Ministry of National Security, yes, but not the JCF. The JCF.
They still come under the JCF, sir.
What's that?
It still come under the JCF. The Ministry of National Security set up the JCF.
Anyway, it doesn't.
No, the JCF come under the Ministry of National Security.
Yes.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
but
the
let me
fund,
say this. Let me say this to you.
it funds
I want to tell you
the
something.
it
There's a
funds
story.
programs within the JCF.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Just like how they had promised to fund some, not that they did, in fact. But let me say this to you. Right now there's a young woman. She's 27 years old, and she is a policewoman. And I just got a snippet of what was happening to her. She was sent to New Jersey. With no indication as to what's going to happen. She had a very bad conditions. So it came in the star a couple of times. And somebody reached out to me. And I called on Dr. Clark and Claudette Powell. And we've been working on this for the past maybe 2 to 3 weeks. If she doesn't get the care she needs, she's going to die. And that's how they treat the policemen and perhaps even the soldiers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force and Jamaica Defense. She is absolutely right now in Newark University Hospital. The commissioner, you must know about it. The CG of New York knows about it. The ambassador knows about it. The Minister of National Security.
You mean Ambassador Audrey Marks know about it?
I am positive she must know about it.
No, what
it came in the star, and she's now there. And if she does not get a liver transplant, she'll be dead. And I told them to leave my name out of it because you know how it is already. From my name going to Rattigan's name or Herb, I guess that's it. Nobody will pay attention to it. But if they do that, it will be their peril. Because I'm telling you, on this night here, I was on the radio about it today. I've been in touch with some people about it and so on. And I'm saying it's tragic that somebody is getting 300% raise.
Yes, Dr. Francis.
And this girl is dying.
Yes. We're going to speak about the young lady. But the question I ask you, sir.
Yes.
Members of the JCF is pushing their service car along whatever road it is.
Well, that is not that. How is that compared to a girl who's bloody well dying, Jeffrey? How are you going to compare the two? You know that they have neglected. They have given themselves 300%, including everybody else, and yet you are. And we know they don't have it. They've taken money for transportation and have never done it. So my view is that we know there's a lot of wrong with Jamaica. Okay, and I'm saying still. The people of Jamaica, who's in the diaspora and in Jamaica, some of them don't give a crap about it. And that's the best word I could find. They do not care. And yet, we are putting ourselves on the line, and I'm willing to put myself on the line as I've always done. But at the same time,
and that is why you should file the lawsuit, Dr. Francis.
Jeffrey, I suggest again, if you say that again, I'm going to make you file it before me. So don't say it again. Because I'm serious. Because I'm saying to you, this is a serious thing. This is a serious thing. We know what is happening, and we are fighting for it. And we have to fight together. I sent it to certain people who I know have whole heap of followers, right? And they don't do anything about it. So it's not, let's not point fingers. We're going to get the thing done. We're going to get it in a, hold on, listen to me. I believe me, I've been on my ass and feet for all morning and so on. And I really, but I'm just saying, I'm going to do, I've told you already, and I'm not going to say repeat it. What I'm going to do, and I'll do it. But the point I'm trying to make is that we have to take everything, not just as individuals, but to collectively. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't share that with Wilfred. I didn't share it with Herb in terms of this whole situation that we are going through as well.
And also, can you answer the question I asked you pertaining to the JCF members? Have you, as a member of the Jamaican diaspora and the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Prevention Task Force, have you written a letter to Congresswoman Maxine Waters or anybody else?
No, I'm not.
Pertaining to what is going on. The American government give the JCF how much $1 billion a year, the National Dimension of National Security. How much $1 billion a year?
Hold on a second. First of all, I'm an individual, and yes, I have people that work with me and so on and so forth, but I work basically, if you have somebody that doesn't come forward, the only person I can say that I've ever come forward really is just sitting right here with me, Herbert Nelson and Rupert Rattigan. But other than that, and I dare anybody to argue with me that people don't just come forward and give their service like that. And furthermore, I did say it. Yes, are you understanding?
I don't understand what you said because I asked a question pertaining to the JCF.
And I'm saying to you, no, I'm not. Why would I have written about the JCF? I've articulated for the JCF. I've gone on television. Rattigan, we spoke about the JCF. We have done everything. Why would I write to the congressman about what? They're not a member of the American.
Can you hold on a minute, Dr. Francis? Hold on a minute. I am saying to you, I'm asking you a question, sir. The question I'm asking you, sir. The American government has been given the Ministry of National Security, which is in charge of the JCF and the Army, I presume. The tune of billions and billions of Jamaican dollars. US dollars is millions.
Where's the evidence of that? Where is the evidence of that?
Sir Nelson?
Doc, we're established with debts before that the annual contribution that came down from state and USAID was 55 million or more, and it would increase each year, incremental increases to cover different areas because of the lack of capital.
I was not aware that they're getting that much. Herb, hold on, let me just clarify. I know that they're getting money through the USAID. I knew they were getting money through the USAID, which you and I had established some time ago. But I did not know that you're talking about $65 million. I know what's her name? Camila came in and gave $30 million the other day to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but this is a recurring amount that the JCF it benefits from, that comes in through National Security Ministry. That means JDF also benefits from it because it goes towards security, building security teams, and they get this money. So they and Ratty revealed the other day that the Minister Dr. Chang had turned in or failed to spend some of that money. How much money did he fail to spend, Ratty?
No, hey, you know what, Herb? That's a very good point you raised, because I was about to raise it when Jeff started asking Dr. Francis the series of questions. One of the things that we ought to look at is see how much money is returned to the budget from the Ministry of National Security. How much money unspent that they ask what they did to spend, and they have to turn it back in, because they can't keep it at the end of the fiscal year. They have to turn it in. I was told by a source that they're turning in lots and lots of money every year, and they keep asking for more. and they can't spend it.
Let me
Right?
ask you, Ratty, can I ask you a question? Was I
No,
ever...
ask Jeff. Ask Jeff.
No, I'm asking you because you're
Okay.
the one
Yeah,
who
because you're
got
the
the
chair.
information. Hold on there, Jeffrey. I'm saying to you, was I ever aware, except for what Herb and I spoke about, of the level of money that was being returned on by the ministry? Was I ever?
I have no independent knowledge of that. You're right. I don't know.
I don't. This is the Herb and I know about the money from the USAID. I remember this when someone brought us down there to wherever it was, down in Jamaica. But we were going to do gang training, and I have the letters still. I have all the things that connected all the dots, and it never came to pass because somebody said it was political. Okay, Herb is there to validate. All right, I never went into it. I never investigated. I would just left it at, and at that point, Captain, what's his name again? Captain
Whittingham.
withdrew from the situation because he said he cannot believe that. And I have the letter. I have everything. I don't throw away anything from what we can fill up according to make me talk, Jeffrey. Right? And I have it, can illustrate. And by the way, let me just make it quite clear. We are the only task force, I think, that got a letter of authentication at the time when we started. And I'm not afraid of doing it, but the point is I have to have the evidence. I did not know anything about this. And if we are suggesting that we approach the congresswoman, I suggest we do it in a uniformed way and a proper way. And I invited the other day when I suggested that we invite what's his name, Ambassador Ward, to have a talk to develop a strategy of going forward. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so we need. I mean, it's valuable to be here to talk about it because we have nothing to hide. But at the same time, what I have to do for myself, I have to do. And I've made up my mind, I'm going to do it. But at the same time, I'm saying that there are other factors that have jumped into it. And now that you have mentioned, I did say earlier on the program that I was on, a radio program, that we need to approach people to help us. And Maxine Walters is a good person to approach. Whether she'll do it or not is another matter. But we have another asset that we have not used. The current ambassador of Jamaica. He's a Jamaican.
Who?
Who has the ambassador?
You mean
The U.S. ambassador to Jamaica you're talking about?
Yes, U.S. ambassador. We should approach him too.
Yes, but he's in Jamaica. We need to approach somebody up here.
Let me tell you something. That guy has power because he's the first Jamaican, and he, as the ambassador, could help us push things forward. And Roger look like him gone.
No, man, no. Me, go on top, man. Me, I walk going to place because people, I call and I worry about me.
All right, guys. So anyway, we have Herb. He heard me. He hold me accountable. I'm gonna link you Herb in regards. What's that?
What I was asking is the task force? Are you prepared, rather, not the task force? Are you as an individual prepared to all right? Since you said you know anything about it,
how many times are you gonna ask me the same question, Jeffrey? How many times must I answer? Must I answer in Japanese now?
Dr. Francis, calm down, because I was gonna ask you that question. Calm down, Dr. Francis, please. Please calm down.
No, you can't.
I was saying to you, Dr. Francis, since you're not aware how much the Ministry of National Security get, and you're going to investigate it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, since you're going to investigate it, sir, I will leave that to you then. But the fact of the matter is, they have been getting money, and it is very embarrassing that our men and women in uniform has to be pushing the service cars.
I agree.
You know, and as members of the diaspora should start talking out and getting people to speak about what is going on. and getting letters written to the congressmen and women and to senators to start
Well,
investigating donor funds.
Jeffrey, I've been doing this. I think the only person that maybe been doing
Francis
it
and
for a very long time. And I do it out of my own volition. I ask nobody nothing. I've never asked anybody for a dollar to assist me.
My brother,
And I have continued to do it, and I have not given up the portfolio because nobody's really coming forward to take over the portfolio. Herbert and I have been together in this for a very long time. Not before the 7, we're not talking about the 7-year thing and so on, but apart from that, I will go through, but we will do it. We will get it done. You made a suggestion, and I've made notes of it, and I will definitely look into that. But I'm going to get together with Ambassador Ward, who has connections as well, and myself and Herb and Wilfred and whoever else, and we will sit down and we will talk as to the strategy going forward. Yes, I think it's a valid concern, and yes, we should approach it. Yeah.
So Nelson, you can your Institute of Caribbean Studies, can they do anything in the sense of pertaining to donor funds, to letters or whatever?
Well, this is a question that we have when we meet with Congress and Congress people in June, right? And we have State Department and USAID people will be there also. We'll raise the specter that the funds being given to the Jamaican government are totally unaccounted for. We're going to ask them what methodologies of accounting have you asked them to maintain these funds with? Because we cannot see or identify any project or projects that started with these funds and where these projects are. You must be able to maintain some semblance of audit of funds that you're giving away. You're not giving away the funds just because you want to give away some money. But if you're giving them the funds and there's no audit trail and there are no results reported that's tied to those funds, then it's naturally you want to investigate and you want to make sure the money is going where it was intended. Now, all these funds are supposed to be intended for special projects and programs in underserved communities and for people undergoing difficulties. So we're in Jamaica, have you heard successfully that the money was used to raise up a community out of its hardship situation? I haven't read any good luck stories. All I can read about is Zozo and SOE. I don't see any success even behind that, because once you go in and you own the community, right? You occupy the community. You're supposed to be building programs within the community, and you have more than enough money to build programs. So where are the successes? Where have we been successful?
Herb, you hit the nail on the head. The fact of the matter is that I can tell you today, right now, Jeffrey, there's a gentleman in Kingston, in Augustown, right now, as we speak. His name is Dean Rowley. And we started a program with all the Augustown people. And it has been a phenomenal success. Okay? And we started through the crime task force. We assisted him, and he's down there now. And let me tell you, it's been amazing what has been accomplished in other parts of the country. Right? So I know that it can be done. So what we're saying is that if the Ministry of National Security got money and they did not spend it, then we have to find it, we have to expose it, and we have to say, where is the money? But let me tell you this. We have a fancy name, Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. But we do not have a day-to-day working what do you call
Budget.
it? Team,
Operational team, yeah.
operation that can attach all of those things. It is left up to myself, her basically, and Wilfred Rattigan. And you see what we all have to do.
Yes.
So I just want you to understand that. And that's why I get a little bit testy sometimes, because I don't think you really understand that. And
No, I understand. No. I understand, Dr. Francis, but I was just asking, since you said you didn't know about how much money they get, I was going to ask you if it is you're going to investigate to find out.
absolutely.
But you didn't allow me to finish. So, you know. Anyway, you say you're going to
My
do it.
apologies then. I thought you were just getting on the same time. Sure.
No. Let us switch gears. I see Wilfred Rattigan chewing his mouth again.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's about. You know,
Jeffrey.
I was on the program today in my at the studio for, and it was 9:22.
Yes, I'm going to come off now. But before I go, I want to ask you this question. I would allow you to go. Have you been approached by any government official pertaining to sit on the board, sit on the constitutional committee?
No. I don't think you're going to expect. Let me say this. I don't expect to be asked by any government official to do anything in Jamaica at all, because I'm a straight talker. Neither Herb, neither Rattigan, because you know, and obviously neither you too. So they're not going to do it because they do not. We are not yes men, and we don't do that. And I want the people out there to understand that we need support. Right? We need support. We don't have to beg and plead and what have you. But if you're out there, you really love Jamaica, you'll give us the support, right? When we ask for it. When I leave here now, I'm going to have to make a call to New Jersey to check on it. But these are the things that we do, and I do. And to her, I mean, come on, countless. I don't know how he does it. I asked him the other day to look at something, and when he done it, do it in no time. I don't know how he did it. Right? And that's the commitment we have. And we still have. Okay, so I don't want you to feel as if that you know we'll never give up. We'll never give up until.
No. I know, because we all have our private life to do every day. You know, we have a private life to accomplish every day or whatever. But you know, we're here talking, and I'm going to be honest this evening. You know, I'm going to be very honest, and I think Wilfred Rattigan and Sir Herb Nelson hear me speak about this. Members of my family know the type of person I am.
Mm-hmm.
And many times I get a topic to speak on, or get people to come on. And I'm being honest with you, I don't feel like coming on. One of the reasons why I don't feel like coming on, I'm saying to myself, a Wilfred Rattigan, a Herb Nelson, a Jeffrey Tavares, and others is talking and talking and talking and talking. What is the people doing?
That's the point. Well, if
What
you
are
listen,
the people doing?
let me just tell you something. Between myself and Herb Nelson, now I'm not talking about Will Rattigan, Herb Nelson, we spent some money that I don't think neither of us want to talk about it, to try to help Jamaica. We have done it. We have the evidence. We have the physical evidence. We try to build an eco-structure, everything for Jamaica. Cyber, all they did was take our ideas and do what they want with it. Okay? They never gave us the respect, and we still continue. Because they expect us to get time.
And that is why, Dr. Francis, I think the time has come for members of the Jamaican diaspora to stand up to the two political parties in Jamaica and said that we will not give you 1 red cent to run in an election.
I am not.
Not 1 red cent.
I'm not.
That's where
I'm sure Herb is not going to either. I'm positive of that. But no. The fact of the matter is, if we have money, if I have money going to the people, I'm not giving $1 to the government. Not $1. I'm going straight to the people. And that I find success.
I think members of the diaspora, Will Rattigan, Herb Nelson, others, should lead the charge that if Andrew Holness or Mark Golding or anybody from the two political party come to the United States to solicit funds to run campaigns in Jamaica. Don't give them 1 red cent. Because if they can't put members of the Jamaican diaspora on the committee for the constitution reform, what sense does it make for us to give them the money then?
Well, as I said before, they will not do it because we are straight talkers. Herb and I are straight talkers. Willie's a straight talker, and they're not going to do it.
From what we have seen, they've added a Canadian.
Yes.
And this Canadian is not of Jamaican descent. He's not derived Jamaican citizenship through naturalization or any other means. But he's on the team. And they say he's an expert. Well, he came to the team and, this stirred up controversies. So my question is, at what point do they stop promising the diaspora to have diaspora involvement and actually do it?
Well, that's the question I asked Dr. Chang, and you remember what the response was?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I'm going to get to what's his name? Discuss forward. I can't hear you, Jeffrey.
Your last word before you go, Dr. Francis, because Mr. Rattigan says he's going to come back on the
It's
next.
not my last word, but
you're up. Yes.
Yes.
The final statement on this program.
I just want to say to the members of the diaspora, it is really, I want to say to you, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I just want to say to you that, listen to me. If you love Jamaica, prove it. Get involved. Get involved, make a difference, because it makes no sense for you to be able to just understand you want changes in Jamaica, but you're not willing to pay the price. You're not willing to support, even behind the scenes. I got a wonderful call the other day from some former colleagues of mine, and they said they want to help. So I'm hoping that they will help, and I'm going to make a call after this. Hopefully, it's not too late, 9:28, to call them.
Okay, Dr.
Thank
Francis.
you very much for the opportunity to be here this evening, and I look forward to bringing some more after consultation with Rattigan, Herb, and Dr. and Ambassador Ward. I think we'll see. We will have some more for you next time.
Yes, and hopefully that you will file that lawsuit, eh? All right, Dr. Francis, thank you very much for coming on, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rupert Francis, head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Prevention Task Force. Thank you for coming on, sir.
Thank you, my brother. All the very best. Take care.
Thank you.
All the best. Hope I get over.
All right.
Okay, my brother Herb, I call you.
All right, Doc. Take care. Yeah. So, Jeff, you say Will is coming back?
Yes, he says he's going to come back in the next couple of minutes. But we may have to wrap up now because we have been from 7 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
Thanks to your listeners. I see I look at some of the comments and the fact that they are on the ball.
Yes.
I see some even saying vote UIC, stand up for your rights. I see you have others who question what the task force has been doing, and I see others who are very much concerned with Holiness getting away again with all the chicanery they've been doing. It's very disappointing to hear Will talk about the judge doing some silliness about standing. I mean, you didn't take time out, as one of your listeners is saying, to check on the case. What case do I have this week? Right? Research the cases. Look at it. This thing about the foreign minister been in the news. So you would think a judge would show caution and make sure they seek out the information, the background on that case. Not to bias themselves, but just to look at some of the preliminary indicators as to what the case is about. But you don't show up and ask if the person filing has standing when this person been in the Jamaican limelight for years, has been supporting Jamaica for years, is well known and was invited to apply to be police commissioner. So I don't know what this judge or who this judge is.
I think that the judge is being influenced by the upper heads of the government of Jamaica. You hear me? Because if you know, as a judge, you're supposed to know the law. And don't come and say that the gentleman don't have any whatever to stand and whatever. He's a Jamaican citizen. He
Yep.
has dual citizenship.
Well, I think this is where, and you talk about forward action or actionable information. The listeners hearing this, that Mr. Rattigan's case is being stymied by a very inarticulate judge expressing stupidity about Mr. Rattigan's standing. They need to do a writing to the Governor General and the Prime Minister to say, hey, this case need to be heard, and the judge that you appoint to hear the case, make sure they have enough sense to adjudicate the matter, right? What does she need to see from Mr. Rattigan's attorney to understand he has standing? Okay, how many people need to file that case that says the Minister of Government must pay attention to the regulations, obey the regulations, and comply with them? I don't think it takes a whole lot of common sense to figure that out. And whoever this judge is, with this stupidity about standing, most ridiculous argument I've ever heard, they need to really go back and check themselves. Right? The case needs to go forward. It's been filed over 5 weeks ago. So why are they stalling? This is a stall. Go ahead.
They want to drag it out, you know. That's the plan they have with it, to just drag it out.
Well, you know, dragging it out is not going to work. It's not going to change her situation.
But if they drag it out in the lower court, we can go to the Supreme Court of Jamaica with it.
I thought that's where it was.
Well, if you go to the Supreme Court and drag it out, you leave it from there and go to the Privy Council with it then.
Something needs to happen, because this is not right. And this is what we talk about. We talk about connivance, collusion, which equals corruption.
Yes.
And you know, are these judges going to show their hand that they're part of the problem and not the solution? I think we need some of your listeners, like I said, to write some letters and protest. Say, hey, write an editorial to the Gleaner, to the Observer, and let them know that these judges appointed on these cases need to take action. We don't file them frivolously. We file them because it's their rule of law that has been violated, that are broken. And I don't know what this judge need to understand what their job is, right? If they don't understand the case, or if they are afraid of the government, afraid to deal with the case in an honest and forthright manner, then they need to ask whoever the chief judge is to assign somebody else to the case, because they can't handle it.
And I hope the Chief Justice will act independently.
Well, he's been acting independently. Well, some of these other judges, you don't know where they're coming or going. We don't even know who they are. We need to see profiles on all these judges, where they went to school, what clubs or societies they belong to, what they're posting out there on social networks. We need to look into all of that stuff, because a lot of them, I'm certain, involved one way or another with different community actions. I hope they are, with different community development actions. And so when you take the time out to spend your money and file an action in court, it means you saw something wrong, you're aware of something being wrong. And when it's a government minister not in compliance with the law, they flaunt the law, and they don't even make a statement as to whether or not they filed or not. But you're gonna rule that, standing is the issue. Give me a break.
And is a pity that Ratty just went up. I think he's going to try and come back. The word standing in a case like this, you have any idea what it means, Sir Nelson?
It means you have the privilege, all right, as a citizen of the country, or has somebody with some property ownership, or paying taxes, or doing business, right? These things establish standing, right? It's a legal term they use.
Is it that she's saying that the person who filed the suit, Mr. Rattigan, doesn't have any standing because what? He doesn't have any property in Jamaica. He doesn't pay taxes. He's the holder of a Jamaican passport.
Well, that in itself should give her a big clue. But she's looking for weaknesses,
not to carry on the case.
There you go. She's trying to sideline the case. And so, if how many other cases out there that's similar are these other judges asking people if they have standing? So
maybe what we should do then is ask Mr. Lonesome what went on with his case. Is it that they're saying that he doesn't have any standing too?
Well, I don't know, because he doesn't even have a court date. He doesn't have he doesn't have a court date. So he's gonna have to get a court date first and then get a hearing. But they're gonna be playing these games, these simple-minded, simpleton games from highly intelligent people.
To distract the Jamaican people who would love to file a lawsuit against the government. They're gonna say, "Oh, Ratty gonna get through with it, so why should I do it?" That's what they're trying to do.
Right. Let me just say this here. You have I just want people to understand. I don't want to just give them my version of things.
Right.
When a party files a lawsuit, there are many things he or she must prove besides just the facts of the case. One of these legal concepts is known in Latin as locus standi. In other words, standing to sue. Right? And then the three elements that they break out, right, is injury in fact, you suffered harm; causation, caused harm; redressability, compensation. That's three elements in a lawsuit where you're suing somebody. Right? I don't have the ones for us any other type of civil situation. But it says at the most basic level, courts require standing because the Constitution requires them to enforce the law, right?
Mm.
But I'm reading from U.S. Law here. Because of the
Can you find
requirement,
something about the Jamaican judicial system then?
I would have to go find the Jamaican. I mean, the concept is basically the same. You're not going to get much differences between them. But I can take a look at that too. Standing to file a lawsuit in Jamaica.
And let our viewers know that Wilfred Rattigan is a Jamaican citizen. He was born and grew in Jamaica. So what the judge is saying about standing is stupidness, is foolishness. They're trying to just stall the case, that the case don't go anywhere. And that is why they're taking so long to give Mr. Lonesome a date for a case. Or the case, whatever. Because they didn't know that Jamaicans were going to stand up and say enough of this. But that's what my good friend Jerry Small always said. We will not back down. So I want them to try. But they continue because one day the dam must burst. And it is going to burst. So if they think they're going to deter people from doing what they're supposed to do, is their constitutional right to speak up about what is going on. And one of these days, I just had this feeling one of these days, they're going to end up putting some laws against people like me and you and other people who's on Facebook and YouTube. They're trying to do it now. That is why we must come together and speak out and do something. Do something. We can't just continue talking. I covered the protests with the people who say roll it back. Very few Jamaicans are out there. What is going on with us? It is your constitutional right. It is your constitutional right to protest peacefully. Don't be like the president of the UIC who said he doesn't believe in getting in a permit to go protest. Don't be like him. And yet he wants to be a leader. Obey the laws of the land. Don't be like that gentleman from the UIC who believe that he must go out there and just protest and don't get a legal written document to go out there and protest. And I'm saying it to you all tonight on this platform. We may get back Mr. Rattigan and show us yet, but Mr. Herb is looking for something that we're going to wrap up after that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find that easy because they're addressing mostly lawsuits in Jamaica. So unless there's an attorney in our group here that's listening in that can talk about the type of standing that the Supreme Court judge referred to today in Rattigan's case.
I must get in contact with somebody who I know is a lawyer. I know a lot of lawyers. Family members are lawyers too.
Yeah.
I must get in contact and ask a question.
Yeah, I think that's a big key. That they say you can look at the CV. Yeah, we can look at the CV and see what experiences they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never heard of a judge just before she show up for work, them hand her a case file that she's not familiar with. And the first thing occurred to her is to ask about his standing. I mean, they must have told her this man is from overseas.
Must be.
And then she asked that question, you know. But, I mean, you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework before you show.
Hold a minute for me. Hold a minute. There's something coming in here. This is Mekwi Talk breaking news. News just coming in. A policeman shot and killed by his wife in Manchester a short while ago. That's news just coming in. A member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force was shot and killed by his wife in Manchester a short while ago. That's news just coming in. Yes, sir, Herb. Sorry about that.
Fortunate, you know, that kind of lost a life, especially amongst our police officers. You hate to see that. But I don't know what kind of domestic issues were happening. I guess we'll get the report later on. And see what was happening that caused her to have to shoot him.
You know, a lot of people going through so many trauma, so many psychological problems we don't even know about. Let me wrap up word, Sir Herb, or should we just?
Yeah. Let's wrap up because I don't think Ratty gonna make it back in time. And thanks to your listeners for listening to us. And you know, I hope that Rattigan's lawyer will in fact respond to the judge questioning the standing issue and do it in a forceful manner, do it in a public manner, right? I just heard through the Observer and the other news with the Gleaner, and talk about the fact that judge never did her homework before she showed up with the case. Whoever is assigning these cases, it's abominable to think they'd hold an important case to the last minute and the judge walk into work and then say, see the case, you deal with it.
You know, Sir Herb, somebody asked a question on our chat room a while ago. How about making a request through the DPP? You think that can be done?
Yeah,
I know you're not a lawyer.
We can ask the DPP what is the law. She can interpret the law, but the Attorney General should be the one to give you interpretations of the laws of Jamaica. You know, as to who are standing to file a case, because if Rattigan been around all this time in Jamaica, who is this judge now to come and question his standing after so many years of service to Jamaica? You know, I really and truly need to start looking to some of these judges because if they're going to be this ridiculous, they need to be checked out. Because some of them probably went to school here in the US, Canada, and the UK. And they probably leave stuff behind. So who knows?
You're so correct. You are so correct. And before we go, ladies and gentlemen, remember to join me tomorrow at 11 to 12 noon on the Mekwi Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel and also on Roots 96.1 FM. My guest will be Jerry Small. That's at 12 to 1 o'clock US time. My guest will be Robin Jerry Small. We'll be speaking about corruption and other things, and even getting talk about what is going on within the whole thing with Rattigan case. Also, we may have a lawyer come on. We're not sure. Hopefully, they can get one to come on. But remember to join us tomorrow morning, 11 to 12 noon Jamaica time, 12 to 1 p.m. US time. We'll be live on the Mekwi Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe on this channel, please. We must say thanks to Dr. Rupert Francis, head of the Jamaican Diaspora Crime Intervention Task Force. Thanks to our good friend, Dr. Herb Nelson Jr. Herb Nelson.
I'll take the promotion if you have money with it.
you know who gave it a promotion? It was the producer who gave it a promotion.
Is that right?
Yes. Owen said Dr. Herb Nelson. I said, no, he's not a doctor, my friend. That was it. You know.
Tell him I take the money. That's all right.
So, Herb, I must say thanks for you to come on. Thank you very much. And I hope we can do this again.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
On behalf of all of us here, on behalf of my friends, on behalf of Wilfred Rattigan, Herb Nelson Jr., Dr. Rupert Francis, and the producer of this program, Owen Brown, I am Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all for joining us. May God bless you. And may God bless Jamaica land we love. And remember, we're going to start come pretty soon. We're going to start, if you want to advertise on this channel, we're going to start doing that come pretty soon. So you can give us our ads and, you know, for a small fee, your ads can be advertised on this program here. We have to try to do something.
All right, Jeffrey. Blessings to your listeners and to your participants here. Yeah, they talk about the judges' pay hike. I mean, you know.
True.
I guess the Prime Minister can reject his, but I don't think any judge is going to reject theirs.
You're gone, Herb. I'm not hearing you.
No, I said the Prime Minister can reject his pay hike, but I don't see where any of the judges have rejected theirs.
They ain't going to reject theirs.
Yeah, they don't have to prove anything anymore. They got the pay hike. All she needs to do is come in early, do her preliminary review of the cases, and try the case, right?
And all the minister has to do is just come in and just say, "Look here, I have done the thing."
Present evidence that she did in fact comply with the law.
Right.
It's that simple. But we know she didn't comply with the law, so what she do? She resort to playing games.
And now this judge have this delay tactics going on.
Yeah. So we need to check out the judges. Is what I'm saying.
Definitely need to.
People who know these judges, let's find out who the judges are, and then let's get some background on them. Let's see, how who they are and what kind of records they have. Because they're not everybody's perfect. And I understand that.
And I am getting some news bulletin here. Really the same case, just the same news item just came in. A police constable was shot dead by his partner at their home in Manchester this evening. The woman reportedly used the policeman's own gun to shoot him before trying to take her own life.
Wow.
What is going on here, Father God? She's currently in hospital. As soon as we get more news in subsequent newscasts, we'll pass it on to you.
Well, hopefully.
Another news coming in. Parliament have yet to review their new salary. Parliament have as yet to receive their new salary increase. You hear that? Yeah. Before all of them said they're not taking it. Some of them taking it.
Well, like your listener is saying, they're taking their sweet time cleaning up the mess that they create.
True.
All these other cases are outstanding, and we keep bringing it up, and there are no answers.
So true.
And don't forget, you got your main man at the health ministry with his $14.5 billion request, more money
for the hospital,
Cornwall Regional. And my thing is, Why take it in a pay raise? Why you just didn't go ahead and spend the money this year and then go for the pay raise next year? But then this pay raise didn't just drop out of the sky. This pay raise was in the works for over a year. And they had to figure out when they were going to spring it on the public and the people of Jamaica.
And we must ask a question also: is it that this pay raise was in the budget and we didn't go through the budget with a fine teeth comb?
No, nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. But they chose. I think this was the budget review going on in Parliament, and they chose to spring it on the people of Jamaica now. I mean, there's not much you can do because the PNP were in cahoots with them to keep things quiet and to make it a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite a surprise. And they didn't come out in opposition. You know, they went along to get along. You know, so it's a lot of money to be paid to them to make them feel good about the job they've been doing, and most of them have not been doing a very good job.
But to look at it, Sir Nelson, KPH, I am being told, I haven't gotten the video, but I'm being told by a good friend of you and I won't call any name, you know, he's in Jamaica, I won't call any name, who said that cockroach is running up and down in the Kingston Public Hospital and people, and the KPH is in dire need of repair.
Well,
so I'm saying to myself, the $1.7 billion that they're going to take in their hike of salary, why don't they just get some other money and build a brand new KPH?
Well, it's not just
money from. Go ahead.
When you look at that hospital from outside, the area itself should be condemned because it needs massive cleaning up. And that means if the inside is becoming as bad as the outside, then the building needs to be condemned. They need to move to a new building.
I remember asking the Minister of Health on Wayne Lonesome program the same question. I said, Minister, don't you see it fit to build a new hospital for Kingdom for KPH? He said to me, no, we can renovate and straighten and
Straighten what?
You're breaking up, Jeff. You're breaking up.
Are you hearing me? You hearing me properly now?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm saying strengthen what? If the hospital is not deplorable condition, come on, man. When last time we built a hospital in this country? Our people need. I keep on saying, if a country cannot provide healthcare, education, jobs, security for its people, something is fundamentally wrong with the governing of this country. If you can't secure that, if you can't provide for your people, then something is wrong somewhere.
The bottom line is you've got 3 million people. You got a security force of about 15,000. You really don't need more than that. But because of the rampant corruption at the ports of entry, within the tax office, within the revenue department, within the Ministry of Finance, within the National Security Ministry, all of these places, if it's not functioning in the way it was designed, then things get out of control, and things are out of control.
Yes.
right? Because nobody was steering in the right direction from the top, from the leadership. And you can't expect the rank and file, privates in the military who are constables and constables in the JCF to go out and always do the right thing.
Yes.
They need a sense of direction. They need a sense of leadership. They need somebody who will set the example to show them the right way, and it's not happening. And now we got a court system that play games with people.
And they're gonna continue playing games if we don't stand up and do something and say something about this.
Well, I'm certain. I know Mr. Rattigan's attorney, and I'm sure she's on the ball.
Yes, yes.
And she's gonna get this straight. Very much. But I gotta leave you, Jeff.
Yes. Sir Herb, thank you very much. This was so long.
No problem.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks everyone for coming on. Thanks everyone for listening, for viewing. Until you hear our voice again, may God bless you. May God bless Jamaica land we love. This is where we say so long from here.
Do you need graphic design services? Or maybe you need branding for your business? How about multimedia production services? Contact Browns Media and Graphics at 876-877-1870. Browns Media and Graphics. Developing your ideas, creating your style.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Do you want to talk about what's happening in your community or share your thoughts on national issues? Then tune in to Make We Talk Tuesdays with yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares. This and every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Join the conversation by calling 876-372-8446 or 876-225-9478 on YouTube at Roots FM Jamaica and Facebook at Roots FM JA. That's Make We Talk this and every Tuesday on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city.
It's been a long When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend.